mysterious game that you have planned for
Ooh,
me.
mysterious game. All right, so Ash, I'm going to give you 20 movies. We're calling this overrated versus underrated, or underrated versus overrated, however you feel. So I've got 20 horror movies. I've asked my TikTok audience to vote on if they're overrated or underrated, and basically I'm going to give you the movie. We can talk about it for a little bit if you'd like, and then you're going to guess if the audience voted it underrated or overrated. And
So I'm guessing if people are voting it
yeah,
one way or the other.
but you
Okay,
you say like I think it's underrated, but I think the consensus is overrated, things like that.
fun. Love it.
So this is all horror themed. So most there's no real score, so it's just good old job well done by the end of it. So well done, Ash. Ash, first one I want to give you is the Blair Witch Project. Do you think it's
Ooh.
underrated or overrated?
Um, for me, I think it's probably a little bit overrated. And I
Interesting.
probably would say that the consensus would be overrated. Now, I don't know about the actual star rating, but I feel like with like the way it's talked about, at least, I
Yeah.
do think it is a little bit overhyped. I do enjoy it. I don't think it's a bad movie, but I think at this point in time, it's a little bit overrated for the
Mm,
most part.
nice. So collectively, I've got a few thousand votes in for this.
Damn.
So wrong, Ash. 53% say that it's underrated. So it was very close. It was very, very close.
Damn. I mean,
53% says
technically, I have it rated, I think, higher than the average on Letterboxd. So in that sense, I guess technically I rate it
still wrong,
higher.
Ash. Still wrong.
All right, I'm wrong.
Still wrong. Ash number two, The Witch. Robert Eggers' first film. Do you think it's underrated or overrated?
I personally think it's a little bit overrated, but I'm sure people think it's underrated. I think it's enjoyable, but it was a little bit too slow burn for me personally. Not quite my type of horror that I enjoy, but I think most people would say it's underrated.
I agree with you, Ash. I think it's overrated, and so do majority of people. 54% say
What?
that it's overrated. Yes, yeah, not going too well,
I've
Ash.
got to get my mind out of movie talk because I'm thinking like our circle of mutual friends.
Yeah,
I think that's where my mind is going. I've got to get outside of that.
amen. So, number three, Ash, the movie Mother with Jennifer Lawrence, the Darren Aronofsky film. Do you think it's overrated or underrated?
I haven't seen it. It's on my list for
Oh,
this
I
year,
envy
actually.
you. I envy you there.
I'm gonna go ahead and say overrated.
Ash, that is correct. 66% overrated.
Woo!
Unreal. Yeah, I hate that movie. I hate that movie so much.
I've heard
Um,
very, very divisive things about it.
a lot of these is very split. There's a couple that are like severely towards one end, but there's a lot of it's like within 5%. Number four, Saw, the original Saw, James Wan. Do you reckon it's underrated or overrated, Ash?
I think it's underrated,
Yeah,
and I'm gonna go ahead and agree that people probably think that it's also. Yeah, I'm gonna go underrated. Underrated. I'm gonna do both underrated.
it's a fair guess. I agree with you. I think it's underrated. People 52% say it's overrated, which is nuts to me.
Boo.
I think that's an L on the people side to be
Big L.
from my perspective. Ash, we've got The Cabin in the Woods for our fifth film. Do you think it's underrated?
Underrated. Underrated for sure.
57% agree with you. Underrated. Absolutely. That movie is just so much
Love that
fun.
movie.
Ash number six, go with your gut, all right? Army of Darkness. What do you think?
I think it's underrated. I think people think it's overrated.
Ash, 57% agree that it's underrated.
Yes, that makes me so happy, actually.
Yeah,
Fucking
absolutely.
love that movie.
Number seven, Ash, this could be in the episode where we hate horror movies. Men. Alex Garland's Men from last year. Did you watch it?
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of Men? What did you think of that
Fuck that
movie?
movie.
Yeah, the movie
I
sucks.
hated that
That
movie.
movie's
I'm gonna
terrible.
go with overrated, and I hope that people agree with me.
61% agree with you, Ash. 61%
That's
say it's
way too
overrated.
low of a
Way
percentage
too
that
low.
agree with me.
Way too low.
And I love Alex Garland's movies, but that one, no.
Absolutely. Our eighth film, Us. Jordan Peele's second film, Us. Do you think it's underrated or overrated?
I think it's a bit underrated. I think people overhate it, personally. I like all of his films, so I'll go underrated, but I feel like people probably said that they think it's overrated.
So you think people say it's overrated and you think it's underrated. I agree with you. I think it is underrated as well. And 51% of people think it's overrated. So you're correct. 1%. So it was such a split.
That one really gets people up in arms, I've noticed. Like out of all his films, that one I feel like has the most distinct opinions on it.
For sure. Number 9, Skinamarink from the beginning of this year. Did you see that movie?
Thankfully, no, and I don't plan to.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like one that I would enjoy. I guess I'm guessing people think it's probably overrated, maybe. But I don't know what
53%.
it's,
Ooh.
I was just gonna say I don't know what its ratings are like. So
Okay, 53% say it is overrated. So you're correct there, Ash. Good work. Good work. I don't like the movie. It's not for me. Like I respect it for sure of its filmmaking. I think it's like cool visually, but the movie just does nothing for me.
hmm
Number 10 got the original Psycho from Alfred Hitchcock. Do you think it's underrated or overrated?
I mean, I guess if I had to pick, I would say probably underrated. And I guess I'll say that most people probably said the same thing.
It's 59% say it's overrated, which is
Interesting.
nuts because 59% aren't that educated. But it's okay. We're into the back end
We'll get
now.
there.
We're into the back end. We're in the back end now. You're going well, Ash. You're going well. Number 11, Tusk from Kevin Smith. What do you think about Tusk? What do you think about Tusk?
Look, I'm actually a big Kevin Smith fan, but Tusk is not a movie for me. Overrated. Overrated is both my answers.
56% agree with you. Absolutely is overrated, and I agree with you as well. I think that movie is a trash, and I love Kevin Smith. I think he's awesome. I met him at I went to Sundance Film Festival in 2016, and in Salt Lake, and I met him for when he was doing Yoga Hoosers, and just chatting to him. He's just the nicest guy ever. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I would love to
Tusk
be able
ain't it.
to meet him. He's awesome.
Tusk is not it. Number 12, the classic, The Exorcist. Do you think people think that it's overrated or underrated?
I haven't seen it recently enough to have an opinion myself, but I think that people probably think it's overrated.
Correct. 57%, Ash. Killing it right now. Ash, here's one for you that you have seen recently Nightmare on Elm Street, the original Wes Craven's Nightmare on Elm Street. This is gonna
So
this is gonna dictate your love for this audience, isn't it?
severely underrated.
61% agree with you, Ash. Underrated,
Yes. Two of my
absolutely.
favorite movies coming in hot with the underrated. I love it.
Amen. Evil Dead 2, Sam Raimi. What do you think?
Underrated.
58% correct, absolutely. Here's one for you. I'm not sure if this is a horror movie. I just put it in there anyway. Bird Box, Sandra Bullock, Netflix
I actually
original.
never saw it.
Yeah, I envy that.
I'm gonna go with overrated.
64% say it's overrated. Absolutely. Coming in number 16, so we've got 5 left. The Mist from Frank Darabont.
The Mist. God, that movie's got a brutal ending.
That's a rough ending. I don't like that ending at all. It's a rough ending. Just wait 30 seconds, champ. Just wait 30 seconds before you shoot your
Yeah.
spawn. Yeah. Spoilers.
I'm gonna go with underrated for me and for audience.
Correct. 62% say it's underrated. Well done. Paranormal Activity, Ash. One of
Oh,
the.
the original one is so much fun.
It is fun.
I'm gonna go underrated for both again.
Unfortunately, 58% say it's overrated. I agree with you, though. I
Boo.
think it's a lot of fun. Number 3, third last, sorry. Malignant. James Wan's Malignant.
This movie is so much fun. I actually just watched it like in the last 2 weeks, and every time I watch it, I'm just like, what the fucking fuck is this movie? But
Yeah,
I love it. I'm gonna go underrated.
I agree with you, but the people don't. It's 56% say it's overrated. I wholeheartedly agree with you, though. Here's one for you that it might have gone past the radar of the people that voted here. 2011's prequel of The Thing. Underrated or overrated?
I have not seen it myself, but my gut's saying underrated. I feel like people might think it's decent.
73% say it's underrated.
Wow, that's the
So
highest percentage we've
I
had
have
so
a
far.
feeling that because I put the poster on that it was the 2011. I have a feeling that people thought it was the original, but it is what it is. And the last one we've got is Pearl from Ty West.
I love this movie. I think it is definitely underrated, and I would hope that people agree with me.
People do agree with you. 65%.
Yeah.
So in total, you've
Damn,
got
that's a good percentage.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 out of 20. That's pretty damn good. That's pretty damn good. 12 out of 20. Well done, Ash.
Like a D, I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely, take that. Well, that's the end of underrated versus overrated, or overrated versus underrated, however you like. Um,
I love it. That was a great game, Harry. Thank you for that experience and for engaging your TikTok followers in that fun.
Amen.
Thank you to the followers for participating in that.
There was a couple
Well,
of
that's
people that are sorry. There was a couple of people that commented instead of actually hitting the poll. Those votes weren't counted. Just gonna let you know. I just picked the percentage. I just did the percentage of the poll. So sorry, guys.
so some of those that were 51% might have been different if
Could have been
you
different.
guys would have just clicked the button.
Could have been different.
All right, you guys. Well, that is all we have for you for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. And next time, please join us for a special Halloween inspired episode.
Ooh.
Yes. So definitely don't want to miss that. But that's it for today. I'm Ash, and with my wonderful co host, Harry. Byron, we miss you. And we will see you guys next week.
Follow us on everything.
Yes, always follow all the socials and YouTube and the podcast on Spotify and Apple.